True or false? No one person can be everywhere all the time. And the answer's true. Of course, no one can be everywhere all the time. Well then, do you understand the two modes of leader engagement to help optimize the performance of the workforce in your organization? We're going to find out right now on this episode of FLS TV, where we are Performance at Work. I'm Dr. Joe Fierro. Let's get started on that right now. Let's talk about these two modes of engagement that leaders use when interacting with their team members and making decisions. The first is directive and the second is collaborative. So I'm going to talk about those briefly and a little bit about how you put those to use to improve your effectiveness as an influencer, as a leader, supervisor in your enterprise. Now listen, whether I was a frontline supervisor or I was a member of the executive leadership team in the C-suite, it was paramount that I understood the difference between these two modes of engaging with my team, making decisions as a leader. It's no different than understanding the difference between a hammer and a wrench, although I have seen people use a wrench as a hammer, but that's a story for a different episode. For now, let's cover these two modes. In the directive mode, this is the one most new supervisors and people think about when they think about being a leader in an organization. Being in directive mode, meaning I tell you what to do, when to do it, and possibly even how to do it. Often affiliated with a little micromanagement. Sure, micromanagement's not a bad thing. It's got its place. But for now, we'll talk about directive mode. In the directive mode, I'm telling you what to do. Now, when would I use this? If I have some request coming from a higher authority and they need the information or the task, the deliverable really quickly, I don't know, maybe it's a market analysis, it's some sort of data that is housed in my department, then the timing of it is very quick and the accuracy of the information is essential, then I may engage with my team in a directive mode by telling you what I need, when I need it, who's going to provide it for me, and I'll put the information together and send it back up to the higher authority. That's a directive mode. Another reason you would expect me to be in directive mode is if the building were on fire. You would expect me to tell you. I'd expect you to tell me if the building were on fire. God forbid. This would be a directive mode of engagement. In the military is another perfect example of where this is used, but primarily when you're on a mission and or you're in what's called formation, where you hear things marching and facing commands like, company, attend, hut, dress right, face, forward, march. Those are directive mode orders that you give to people in order to help to ensure compliance to achieve some particular desired results. Directive mode, it has its place. Then there's the collaborative mode. And this, I submit, is the mode that most should be engaged in all the time, or more often, including the military. Now, please understand, I've used these directive and collaborative modes in my military service, but also in my corporate experience, as in not-for-profit and in government agency work as well. And of course, I use it today as a private consultant in helping to coach executives and other managers and how to optimize the performance of their team, optimize their leadership capabilities. So understand that. In the collaborative mode is where I will share with you, or ensure it's clear, the mission, vision, and values, and the goals, objectives, and milestones of the organization, which some of you would probably recognize that those 6 elements, mission, vision, values, goals, objectives, and milestones, are elements of a strategic plan or a business plan. And it would be my place to ensure that you as an employee, a member of my team, understood those directions where we're headed and helped you to internalize them, and ask you for input, collaborate with you as to how your skill sets help to achieve those particular goals that are most applicable to our team. Cool stuff. Now, I'm also going to align it with your job description and your personnel appraisal or your employee evaluations. Now, some of you may not have employee evaluations formally, but I assure you, you're being evaluated as an employee. Back to collaborative. With the goals, objectives, and milestones, mission, vision, values understood, my job as a leader is to collaborate with you, enable you to exercise your skill sets, the reason we hired you, and have you suggest ways to help achieve those important directions, the goals that we have set for the enterprise. That's the collaborative mode. Now, leaders, here's your takeaway. Make certain that your team understands the difference between the two. And I would do it early on. Joe Fierro, I do it within the first week, no later than 2 weeks, upon assuming taking charge of a division or a team or in a supervisor or an executive function. I am going to explain the difference between directive and collaborative mode to my team or my leadership team, whoever it is. Make sure it's clear and how I interact with you. Now, in my experience, that has really worked out well to maintain good order and engagement of my team as we move forward in the relationship that we establish here. To summarize, in the directive mode, I've made a decision or a decision has come down. I have to comply with. I'm going to tell you what to do, when to do it, maybe how to do it. Very short time frame, and the consequences of non-compliance are very high, and so I'll enter in directive mode. In collaborative mode is where I share the mission, vision, values, the goals, objectives, and milestones of the enterprise, help you to see which ones apply to our team, and collaborate with you and ask for your input as to how we achieve the goals that are associated with our team. Directive and collaborative. I'm going to put a bow. I'm going to stop right there for this right now. There are courses that I provide that help to reinforce these concepts and how to use them to improve your effectiveness of a leader. Love to see you in there. Keep your eyes peeled for some new online courses that you'll be able to access 24/7, and I look forward to seeing you there as well. All right, so below, you can give me a thumbs up or even a thumbs down. I'm happy to get some feedback from you all. Anyway, there's also a comment section. Go down there, leave a comment. I'd appreciate hearing from you. It would be awesome, and I'd love that. And there's also a subscribe button. So hit that subscribe button, as it'll make sure that you're among the first to get the fresh new videos that I'll be putting out here in the very near future. I want to thank you for taking the time here, for tuning in to FLS TV, where we are Performance at Work. I'm Dr. Joe Fierro, and I look forward to hearing from you, and I hope that you have a spectacular day. See you again soon. Bye for now.